Welcome to part 2 of my big unboxing for the day. I have something of a confession to make, an embarrassing one in some dumb guy fashion, who of course is me. I just went through at least half or more of this particular unboxing, presented a collection of titles, shared my thoughts about them, why I bought them, with all of you, until I realized I did not. Because guess who did not press record before? Talking to himself. Yeah. So, guess who's starting all over again? It's got all these packages that have already been opened up. I just decided, was that a dry run or what? Don't try this at home, kids. It's which way did it go, George? Which way did it go? Yeah. There I am, just talking to my phone and absolutely not recording anything. It's hilarious. Let's just dive in now, shall we? Amazon's first in the open run. I even put everything back in the envelope just so I knew what came from where and all that good stuff. Because you can't have the crinkle. You can't have a crinkle package, right? You just have everything like people do, have everything opened and sitting, and it's like, here's my stack of stuff that I've already actually unboxed for my unboxing. We're trying number 1 here. Bought this 4K. I saw this in the theater earlier this year. Didn't have a huge interest because I wasn't overly enthusiastic about the franchise. Had only seen first few entries in it and then dropped off at some point. But a friend of mine wanted to go see this, and I didn't feel equipped to go watch a sequel to a long-running franchise without having any kind of clue about half the movies, and those that I had seen were so long ago I hardly remembered a single thing. So I went to Best Buy. Best Buy was actually still selling us physical media. Thanks a lot, Best Buy. Got it on the cheap. 9 films. Did a 2 or 3 day binge watch through them all. This only to find out that it was actually a prequel, and it didn't make a damn bit of difference if I'd watched the others or not. So I got it. I was happy with it. I like this movie, actually. This was a good return to form, and it is. Saw X on 4K. Slipcover got a little bit chingered on the corner when it was getting packaged or banged around on shipment, I don't know. But I like this one. It's good to see old John back in action. This was a fun film. Ooh, I didn't realize that. Embossed slipcover. Good movie, like it. Glad I got it. Yeah. Next up, Blind Buy. Who would have thought for me, right? Asian film. Don't know if it's Chinese, don't know if it's Japanese, don't know if it's Korean. I'm sad to say I did absolutely no homework on this. I bought this movie based on the cover artwork alone. Didn't read a synopsis at all. I was watching it back and forth between Groove and Amazon as their prices kind of fluctuated a little bit here and there. And finally pulled the trigger when Amazon dipped a little bit lower because I was already making the purchase of Saw X, so I figured why not? I needed to make that minimum shipping $35. So I got this, and it is Creation of the Gods, Kingdom of Storms. Yes, apparently storms have a kingdom. That's pretty cool. Isn't that beautiful imagery though? That looks like they could really be epic. And yeah, just some really cool visuals. Asian cinema just doesn't often disappoint, and I'm frequently very entertained by it. Some really good films. Those of you who saw Godzilla -1 this year understand exactly what I'm talking about, although that's just a one example. Looking forward to checking that one out. We go over to package number 2, a little bit fuller envelope here. We have a 4K first off, not a blind buy, a revisit upgrade of a guilty pleasure film for me that I have loved since it came out in 2003. It's got an incredible cast. Aaron Eckhart, Hilary Swank, Delroy Lindo, Alfre Woodard, Richard Jenkins, Stanley Tucci. Silly, cheesy fun. Just overall a good time. The core on 4K. Ooh, we want to go this way. I waited on buying this one for the price to drop. Not because I didn't think it was worth it, but because I just upgraded from DVD to Blu-ray, Shout Factory's Blu-ray, less than a year before. And only had time to watch it just the once before this was announced. So wasn't overly eager to triple dip on that one and bring in the 4K until the price came down to something a little bit more acceptable under the circumstances. And there we have it. So now we have another 4K upgrade, same situation. Already bought the Blu-ray, and I don't even think I got around to watching it before this was announced. So again, doesn't really looking forward to pulling the trigger again. Although I got the Blu-ray really cheap, I got the 4K pretty cheap, and pulled it out. Mark Wahlberg, Charlize Theron, Edward Norton, Seth Green, Jason Statham, Mos Def, Frankie G, and Donald Sutherland in, yes, you guessed it, The Italian Job. I like this version of the film far better than the 1970s Michael Caine film. Some call this a remake. I don't know why. It has almost no similarity to the original film, other than the fact of the title, and they happen to be driving Mini Coopers in it. I'm not aware of any other connection. It had been a while since I've seen the original one, so I don't know if there's any kind of character overlap or anything of that nature, but yeah, just, again, not a great movie, but a fun ride, and sometimes that is all we need. Next up, Blu-ray, Blind Buy. Continuing my exploration of adaptations of novels that I enjoy. Never seen any of these with this actor, dating back to 1932. A Blu-ray release of, I believe, Johnny Weissmuller. Ugh. I will get this. Johnny Weissmuller's, I believe, first outing as Tarzan in Tarzan the Ape Man. I recently bought a DVD box set of, I believe, silent era Tarzan shorts or serials. But Johnny Weissmuller was a long-term Tarzan actor in the 30s. And I had never seen more than a few clips or pieces of his films on network TV back in the day. This thing came in real cheap on sale, and I figured it was time to go ahead and give it a try. So there we have it. Lastly, for this package, this one took me a bit of internal debate. TV series. It's a 4-season TV show I've never seen a single episode of. Although strangely, I own the first 3 seasons already on 4K. Reputation-wise, was pretty solid. I didn't anticipate when it was going to end. Started picking up seasons when they were coming in really cheap, under 20 bucks. Always intended to start them, never did. Last season comes and goes. I've got it in my watch list. I'm just kind of casually observing for a price drop to come down and pick it up, because, you know, should complete it. And lo and behold, guess what? A box set is announced for the whole show. You know, we talk about the double dips and the triple dips, the quadruple dips. Well, I bought 3 seasons individually of this series. I haven't watched a single episode yet, and now they've got a whole complete box set of all 4. Do I spend the $20 or so on the last season when it becomes available at that price? Or do I do the box set with all seasons? It's going to take considerably less room on my shelf to conserve space. The choice should be clear. Go ahead and buy the last season. And then guess what? This whole thing went on sale for $35. potentially $20 at some point for season 4, or an extra $15 to get it all in one box. That's going to save me half the space. I'm some dumb guy. Space is my thing. You've watched my video on how I maintain my collection. Space saving is one of my biggest priorities. So I went ahead and did it, and now here it is. And I'll be damn, I better watch this show now. So what we have here is the 4K release of Jack Ryan, the complete series. It's a big fan of Tom Clancy's work, his novels back in the day featuring Jack Ryan. Read them all, I believe, until he passed away, and other people have taken over his work, which I'm not interested in exploring. But I had been reading Jack Ryan novels since the late 90s, and I'm a big fan. I love most of the material that's been based off of his work. I think the only exception to that would be the one that's really not movie-wise, which would be Jack Ryan's Shadow Recruit, starring Chris Pine. It's not based on any of his novels. It has no association or connection to him whatsoever. Why am I even talking about that? That's completely irrelevant to this. This is also, I don't know, is this based on any of his work? Is this based on any of the Tom Clancy novels? I don't know. I'm going to have to find out. And we shall see. I like John Krasinski. I like what I've seen him do. That's that. And somewhere I'm missing a razor blade, because I've got packages to open, and apparently in all the confusion I set my razor blade down somewhere and I don't remember where. I'm pausing. I'll be right back. Got it. Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb, and other days you just can't find a razor blade. I set it on the couch. It blended in from my angle. I couldn't see it. I had to get up above. Now we can open packages and continue on. This is an eBay purchase. I got it off eBay because it is a Fox TV release. And Fox today is owned by the Rodent House, which many of you still call Disney. I don't like Disney. I don't like the Rodent House. I am opposed to pretty much everything they do today, and have been a firm boycotter of them for 5.5 years now, unapologetically. They will not get a dime of my money as long as the current executive regime and creatives are there and continue to do what they are doing. If I want something that they have made or owned, I will buy it used. This they own but did not make. And so picked up a used copy of this. This actually comes from Half Price Books via their eBay store. And hoping it'll be good condition. The box is serviceable, but not beautiful. But I need to continue on with this, and this is the only way I can do it. And this will be the 7th season of The Simpsons. This is season 2 of The Simpsons peak, starting with season 6, obviously. Ooh, reflections. Living on the cliffhanger of Who Shot Montgomery Burns episode. But you see, here's how they come through here. Some dinged corners. This was listed as either like new or very good condition. I can't remember which. It was just wrapped in a plastic envelope, so not a whole lot of protection here. Some of this could have happened in shipping. Oh, I didn't wonder where. Look at that. A little TV with Santa's little helper hiding inside. Or was that? No, sorry, that's a camera, not a TV. Hey, that's a really cool thing. Not a nice gimmick. I like that. Oh, poor Santa's little helper looks sad. Why are you sad, boy? Huh? Why? That almost makes it look like a hologram because of the 3-dimensional thing of him being on the back side there. Oh, poor Santa's little helper. Everybody else has got a smile. Let's see what we have here. We have Marge. We have Santa's Little Helper and Snowball. And it looks like it originally had a little booklet in here, maybe an episode guide. It is missing. That's disappointing. Oh, we've got floating discs, so we're going to be extra careful here. Scratches. Not terrible ones, but enough to be concerned of, I can't show them to you, they won't come up, but be concerned about playback. More scratches, disc 2. This is disappointing from half-price books. Scratches and dirty discs. They might receive appropriate feedback from me. I've had really good luck with them in the past. Not so much this time. As long as they play, I'll be overall happy, but this is not the kind of product quality I'm accustomed to getting from them based on the description. So I'm going to set that one aside as a little reminder, because feedback is a thing, ladies and gentlemen. Accurately represent your product when you sell it. Accountability is a thing in my world that I still cling to. It's Kino Lorber time, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this box. This is my last pickup for their fall sale this year. I made one purchase at the beginning of the sale, just a $50 purchase to meet the free shipping eligibility, but still wanted to pick up some stuff. I went and dove back into Kino, had this lengthy wish list on a cart of interested titles, and it took me a week or two sitting there staring at it, weeding it in through, adding something, taking something off, back and forth. I tried to cap myself at $100, and then ultimately I think I ended up spending like $130. It is what it is. It happens. If most or all these are not blind buys, I'd be surprised. I don't remember what I ordered. That happens too. The first one is definitely a blind buy. I've just heard it talked about. And the funny thing is although it was recommended in those conversations, I don't remember what was said in them. I think just idle conversation between YouTubers talking about it. And I found out Kino had it, so I added it to my wish list, and it was probably months ago that I heard those references mentioned. So as I'm going through the wish list and see that's on the sale, I'm like, I recognize that title. And I remember why. I don't remember what. So we're going to start with that one. And cool slip cover on this one. Thinking this might be an Aliens knockoff. I remember it was discussed that Brad Dourif was in it, and of course he's on the cover. But there's some imagery here to lead me to believe something. It's from 1994. There might be 3 different cuts of this film. I'm seeing run times of 100, 122, and 106 minutes. 3 cuts of the film. U.S. cut, foreign cut, and director's cut. But anyway, let's end the suspense here. This is a movie called Death Machine, and this is what's leading me to believe this could be an Aliens knockoff. I don't know. I don't care. Brad Dourif's pretty awesome, and he is top billing on this one, so presumably he is absolutely starring in this movie, not just a guest star, which is always cool. 3 cuts, 3 viewings, assuming I like the first one enough to carry on, which I should, right? Because you dislike one cut, you can end up loving the other. It certainly happened to me once or twice. Can't judge a movie based on a single cut, I say. Next one, 4K, very recent release from Kino from 1987. Not a blind buy. Somewhat highly anticipated film on 4K from what I recall. Starring Kevin Costner in No Way Out. This is a compelling movie. Gene Hackman also in there, I see. And we have, who's the lovely lady on the cover here? Are we going to tell me on the back? Sean Young, I thought that was her. Ooh, and Will Patton's also in this. Love Will Patton. He's always a win. He's always a side supporting character. I don't know if he's actually ever had a full-on starring role himself. So, yeah, No Way Out, 4K, complete with slipcover. That's 2 for 2 for slipcovers. Number 3 also has one. Well, that's fascinating timing. My part 1 of today's unboxing, I discussed not having any starring Catherine Deneuve movies. Well, here's the second one on the same day, so that's pretty cool. From 1969, we have Mississippi Mermaid. Very cool stuff. What I don't know is, given the title, if this is actually an American film or a French film. Judged by the cast and writer-director, I can't imagine it being an American film. But the title is a wee bit suggestive. I don't know, but yeah. Gorgeous lady. Looking forward to watching that one too. Gotta say that about all my blind buys, don't I? Oh, sad. No slipcover this time. But speaking of beautiful ladies, Blu-ray from 1993. I think I've seen this one. Maybe. Or parts of. This is starring Kim Basinger and Val Kilmer. The Real McCoy. I believe it's about a cat burglar. Love those simple spine lettering. Very cool on a shelf. This one has been in my watch list on Kino for quite a while. It seems to get picked up on every sale they have, and for some reason it ends up not making the cut. And because it's been there so long, I made a determined effort to include this one. In fact, this was the title that I ended up choosing that took me over the $100 cap that I was trying to set for myself. Well, you know what? Poor Kim Basinger deserves better. Okay, let's see here. How do we want to do these ones? I want to do this one first. Regular viewers to my channel will know that I am delving into the world of noir cinema for the first time and exploring it. Now, I've purchased, but I haven't actually begun the exploration. I popped in the Kino site while I was going through this fall sale and was curious about out-of-print titles, because I had a couple titles in my wish list that apparently have gone out of print since they were added. So when you click on them from the wish list, it says, oh, there's nothing here. And so I decided, let me look up if I can find a direct link to what titles they have in stock that are going out of print. So they have like while supplies last sale. So I did that and went through what they had there. And I decided it would be a good idea to pick up some of those that I had interested in during the sale, just so I could start trickling in some of those out of print titles before they disappear. I hope they're not going out of print because they're planning Blu-ray upgrades to them. I know that does happen. Just as often, they go out of print because they lose the license and can no longer distribute the film, so they have to sell off their remaining stock, and then that's it. But in this case, I bought DVDs that were going out of print, and again, hoping they're not going to be forthcoming Blu-ray upgrades, and I'm going to kick myself in the ass for getting them. This first one, not a big deal. This one was a really cheap price, and it's a British noir 5-film collection. So as long as the video quality on this is even halfway decent, you know, 5 films for whatever, $14.99 that I paid for it, you really can't go wrong with that. They Met in the Dark, The October Man, Snowbound, The Golden Salamander, and The Assassin. These films date back from 1943 through 1952. I've heard people comment over the years that the British do noir better than the US, at least classic noir. I don't know if that's true. We're going to find out. This feels like a full case, which is a standard case. Thank you for this, Kino. Thank you for not making this a big box set. But because it feels full, I'm guessing it has pages in there for each individual disc, and I'm hoping for, well, it's 5 titles. You can only get, in a case this size, a maximum of 5 discs. So I'm really hoping there's a disc for each film. That'll help with the video quality. This is not a traditional Kino spine art, though. I don't know. I've never owned a Kino DVD before. Maybe this was the way they do those. And speaking of Kino DVDs, when I first went into that out-of-print sale, this British Noir collection had 3 entries. And I thought, how cool would it be just to get all 3 before they go away? A couple days later, I popped back in there and part 2 was gone. Just completely wiped out. It wasn't even on the site anymore. That saddened me, but I got part 3. Part 3 still comes with a slipcover. And is it true for DVDs on their site? I don't know. With slipcovers, this is a side entry slipcover rather than a top or bottom. So that's interesting. This collection comes with The Frightened Lady, Brass Monkey, Third Time Lucky, Tall Headlines, and Breakaway. This is the back here. And this set ranges from 1940 through 1956. Obviously, all these films for both collections are black and white. All 3 collections contain 5 films. This one also feels thick, so I'm hoping for a single disc per film. I'm going to have to track down part 2, but it's out of print and it's only going to go up from here. Hopefully there's not going to be some Blu-ray release which will go on sale again for a year for less than I paid for the DVDs. So moving on, the Blu-rays, back to slipcovers from 1958. This is a classic war film, Clark Gable and Burt Lancaster, starring in Run Silent, Run Deep. I have not seen this one. This will be a blind buy. And I didn't realize this was a black and white film. 1958. This would be only my second Clark Gable film, other than Gone with the Wind, right? I just don't think I've ever owned another. Yeah, I'm confident I don't own another Clark Gable film. I do have 1 or 2 other Burt Lancaster films, but not many. Interesting. Yeah, so I like submarine warfare films for some reason. Looking forward to checking that one out for the first time. Next up, and last of the Mohicans here, not literally, 4K, starring Jeff Bridges and Tommy Lee Jones. I believe this is also a recent release from them for 1994. We have Blown Away. And as I keep saying, I think I've seen this one. If I did, it was when it was relatively new, and never since. But you can't really go wrong with these 2 gentlemen. Susan Amiss or Amise, I don't remember how to pronounce her name. She's in this as well, I see. Okay. I have a vague recollection that I've seen this one, so I'm pretty sure that I actually have. But looking forward to a revisit. So that ends this episode, and we are all done, and this one's running long, so we're gonna kill that here. And I appreciate you all watching as always. Did you pick up anything in the Kino Lorber sale this round, or any other sale for that matter? How about Criterion? Share your comments down in this little area that's made specifically for text comments. What'd you think of my purchases? Did you make any of your own? Are you looking forward to any coming up, whether new or old? Doesn't matter. We don't judge here. Thank you once again for joining me. I'll see you in my next video, whatever that one happens to be. You take care, and good night, everybody.